Okay, I'd like to start out by doing a little bit of vocabulary and some key concepts, like this full size here. So rational expressions basically is a ratio of two polynomials. It means that we've got a fraction and we've got a binomial on top and binomial on bottom, or a trinomial, or any of the polynomial families on top and or bottom. And so there's your example of that. You could have another example, 2x squared plus 3x minus 4 all over x minus 1. That would be another rational expression. Rational means fraction, expression means more than just numbers, right? We got letters mixed in there. Complex fraction, well, it's not complex numbers. We're not talking about imaginary stuff. We're just talking about it's really complex. We got fractions inside of fractions. And we're never allowed to leave fractions inside of fractions. We should simplify them. And so this would be an example of a complex fraction, and this section we'll learn how to deal with that. So that's our two vocabulary words. If you need to pause it, go ahead and pause it and write down your vocabulary. Key concepts. How do you multiply rational expressions? Well, let's look at multiplying fractions first. So if we take 1/2 times 2/3, we multiply straight across. So that would be 2 times 6, and then you reduce, which would be 1/3. Or you can reduce and then multiply, and so you end up with 1/3. Either way, when you multiply fractions, you multiply straight across. So if you've got a over b times c over d, your answer would be ac over bd. Dividing rational expressions, well, just like dividing fractions, let's go back and look at a fraction. So if we had, I don't know, 7/9, and we wanted to divide by, let's go with 2/3. So if we remember back to dividing fractions, if you remember copy dot flip, you can copy dot flip. You can say flip and multiply, or whatever you're going to do, you've got to multiply by the reciprocal of the second number, which means we copy down the first one, we change the division to multiplication, and we flip the second fraction. And so then you can multiply straight across and get 21 over 18. And then they are both divisible by 3, so you end up with 7 over 6. And then you could make it 1 and 1/6 if you wanted to. You could get to the point right after you've copy dotted flipped and see that you can reduce right here. 3 divides into 9 3 times. And so then you still have 7 over 6, which is still 1 over 1/6. Bottom line, we need to know what to do when you multiply. And when you multiply, you've got, again, a over b divided by c over d. This would be a over b times d over c. So you'd get AD and BC. So that's just your main concepts. You got your vocabulary, you got your concepts, before we jump into this whole thing with crazy x's and x squareds and everything all over the place.